Hello everyone, my name is Farah. I'm gonna do a small PHP revision, and this is my third video, so it's gonna be three time efficient. So I hope you guys understand, and if you have any doubts, comment it down, or if you know me, can directly contact me. So first of all, I'm gonna give a small interaction for PHP. So what we learned today, we're gonna learn introduction for a PHP, basic syntax and control structure and functions. If you have learned familiar like similar languages like Java, Python, you know what is functions and array list and not array list, arrays and forms, handling and database connection connectivity. The ones you're not gonna learn in this video is file handling and pushing data to database and like similar stuff. And like it's not hard, but not yeah. So I'm not gonna cover everything because like last couple of weeks in IIT lectures, what they taught, I'm gonna do in this video. So it's gonna be speed run. Okay, so hope you guys understand. And first of all, what is PHP and what who use PHP and popularity? So in this scenario, what you can do is come to ChatGPT, because this is my third year. I'm gonna do it. I can't type three times. So what is PHP? PHP is a hypertext processor, and it's used in server side and across the world. It has some popularity, and you can just type explain in details. So detailed one, then it says PHP is scripting language, dynamic language, and blah blah stuff, and syntax and those stuff. So if I say in my way, PHP is like has 70% of the internet is written in PHP. Like most of websites are written in PHP, not the internet. So 70% means like pretty much big, right? So nowadays, if you learn PHP, you can find a job. You can find a job based on your line PHP, and it's I not say future proof, but if you are willing to learn something future proof, you can learn React, JS, Flutter, and there's many more. So you can switch to that. But if you can, this is learning PHP is like a side job or something like that. So better to learn. Anyway, you can find jobs. So I'm not gonna show any statistics, and I can't waste time on introduction. So next, setting up environment. So if you are rich enough, you can go to the online way. So you can try these websites, and I found it on the internet. Hostinger is the popular one I used to do know, and VP Engine and Hostpapa, weird names, but those are the online platform. You can buy a server and host the PHP file. So as I haven't mentioned before, there's two things called server side and client side. Server side means the one the client doesn't see, the one you're gonna host the website. So the client side is the one you're gonna see the website, and the user gonna use it. So for example, mobile phones, laptop, blah 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 are the client side, and the hosting server is the server side. So in server side, the languages are Python for the front end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, like those are the languages. So server side scripting language is PHP, and client side scripting language is JS, JavaScript. You say like vanilla JS as well. So as I said before, if you are rich enough, you can buy a server from internet, or if you are poor as me, you can go to like following applications like XAMPP, WAMP, and MAMP. So if you have installed following one, you no need to install the XAMPP. Like if you haven't installed anything, you can install XAMPP. So for this video, I'm going to use XAMPP. So just type XAMPP on browser, and choose your operating system and download it. For me, it's Mac. I'm not gonna download for this video because I have downloaded, so no need to do that again. And if you are a Mac user, what you need to do is go to a launchpad, and in your exam you can like click on it and click the manager. Okay, they'll ask passwords, and after that it will show up this. Okay, will show up like this welcome screen, and go to manage server. So for this video you need to have Apache website server and the MySQL, because I'm going to use a database. So I'm going to start the Apache for this one, and I hope we'll start soon. And I'm going to the browse my code editor. So you can use your preferred code editor, but for this video I'm going to use VS Code. Code. So for now, what you need to do is go to your file explorer or your finder, and go to your C drive. If you're a Windows user, go to your C drive. There's a file called XAMPP, based on where you download it. For example, if your download location is D, like if you installed on the D, go to D drive, XAMPP, and blah blah. Or if you are downloading C drive, mostly you do in C, go to C, XAMPP, htdocs, and inside that make a new folder. So if you are a Mac user, what you're going to do is go to applications, find the XAMPP file, open it, and go to htdocs. Same steps as Windows. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a new folder inside htdocs as Windows users as well, and rename the file your preferred one. I'm going to use video for this video demonstration. And what you're going to do is you just put inside this VS Code editor. Let's just open it using your code editor. And now what you're going to do is you're going to create a file. Okay, file, and make the file name is index. Why index? Because most of the web servers, like your servers, they trying to find us the starting point. So index is the word that you find the starting point. So you might learn before, like if you have family with other programming language, uh, it looks for the, like the in Java it's looking for the main thing, right? Main method. So in here they're looking for the index.php file location, not PHP file, like index file name. So in here I'm going to give the index, and I need to give the file format as PHP. So after giving that, the file will be opened. And to like if you are like familiar with HTML and those stuff, you know, like open, like starting something, use HTML, right? But in PHP, what you're going to do is use question marks, and you need to give the PHP. So now you need to write the code. So you need to write the code. You just not starting after like that. You just need to do here inside this brackets. Weird, but that's the way. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna say echo. As a programmer, your first thing should be hello world. So every language you're gonna you start with hello world as uh, the way, like that's the culture, right? No, I'm just kidding. Like that's the way you usually do. So make sure the server is running. If not, make sure to change the port number. If it's not working, most scenarios it works, but if not, check the troubleshoot issue. So go to your browser, and you can check whether it's working or not by typing localhost. If you type localhost, you can mostly, in my scenario it doesn't show that welcome screen, but in your one you might get something called welcome something, and localhost logo. So what you need to do is you need to directly go to your file name. So in my one it's video, so go to your video file, and voila, because I'm running on index.html. If I rename this to something home or something, if I run the folder again, it doesn't show that or not automatically start the file, because I need to manually go to that file. If I put it like index.php, so automatically start the file. So if I run it again, and no need to select the file. So now it's working. So what I need to do is I'm going back to my code, and I make sure this is larger to you all to see. And yeah, so hope it works. So in PHP, if you are familiar with other programming language like Python is print, in Java it's called system.out.println, but in here it's called echo, and print also works for some reason. So if you say print, okay, it's if I run it back, see print also works. Hello world, because two hello worlds. So that's how it works in here, and it can have multiple PHP tags as well, doesn't matter. See, works. So that's PHP. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the slide, and I need to remember what I'm going to do next. So I download XAMPP and installed it and ran the PHP Apache. Okay, basic syntax. Basic syntax when you're creating a variable, and this is the format. And next, data types. In PHP, integers, float, string, booleans are the data types. And when you commenting of line, so you know what we have when you comments, right? Like when you think you not to execute, the one you're going to show to developer, those are comments. So you can like literally you can comment a single line and multi-line. So multi-line is like this, a slash and a star, and in here as well the same format. So first I'm going to demonstrate how the variables should be. So when you're starting a variable, you start from a dollar mark, and after that you're gonna give the name. So the variable name. So this is how the you initiate a variable in PHP. So you can for now I'm not gonna echo anything. So I'm gonna say star mark, and I'm gonna make another variable jo2. So this is another valid uh, data initiation and initialization anyways. Then this is another way, it's a valid one, name Jane, and capital also works, and dollar mark underscore 123, and it's also valid, and name also valid. But invalids are uh, dollar mark name space name are invalid, and name 2 is valid, and then this dash is invalid, and name 2 space thing is invalid. See, this is invalid, and dollar mark 123, this is invalid, and dollar mark with the hashtag is invalid, and dollar mark with the dollar mark again, that's invalid, and name it like calculation symbols, like these are like invalid ones. So first what you need to do is next actually commenting. So commentings are like this. So you already see one commenting style is a single line style. So if I want to comment this one, I can use double slash, and this one. But when it have multiple lines, you need to do every line, right? So what you can do is you can use slash, a star mark, and you see it's commenting below one cell. If you do something below, it's going to commenting that one as well. So what you can do is you just use to end the commenting a star mark and a slash. So from that point you can like it works, so no commenting from that point. So that's how you do multiple commenting. And now what I want to do is I'm going to print a variable now. I know I'm not going to initiate some variables with some other formats. So this is number. So numbers are defined like this, and no need to mention this integer or boolean or something. You just like initiate those. So this is floating ones. This is I'm gonna say boolean. Boolean is true, and you can say star marks string, and you can mention hello world. So these are the formats that you can use in when you're creating a variable, and you can say string and pass some 1 2 3 still no errors when you are using it. So that's so when you want to print a variable, we will say echo dollar mark and the name. So that's how you're going to print a variable. So if I demonstrate that, and John, so you can see this printed, and I just gonna comment these two. So John. So when you want to print something to stuff, you're gonna use like this, name and the dot and space, something like this, and the name too. So if I run this, John Doe, and without the space, if you save and run, see, like it works. And if you didn't dot, it still works. Oh no, it gives error. I thought it gives a result. So in Mac users, you can't see the error. If you have Windows users, you can see the error. So it's kind of beneficial, benefit for you all, but for us, it's kind of trashy. So didn't mention this dot mark. Dot mark is used for when like connecting multiple lines. So in Python we use comma. In Java we use plus. But in PHP we use dot to connect multiple stuff. Like if you want to connect a string here, use the string and you use a dot. I always use error. So if I run this, see John Doe. The very name here John and name 2 is Joe, like those two will be printed here. So and next what I'm going to do is go to next slide. I think I did the variables, data types and comment are done. Now contour structures. In contour structures there are some should be if statements, I don't know, if statements, right? So contour structures are if conditions, you can use if, and loops are like for loops, while loops, here for each, and switch statements are switch this, you know, you might know, like if you are familiar with. So I just go a small stuff here. I go with an example, that's much easier. So first, student name, and I'm gonna go John Doe, and next I'm gonna make a new variable called student. I'm gonna just go mark one, and it's gonna be equals 90, and mark 2 is 80, and mark 3 is 70. So I need to find the at the, what is that, average average, oh my bad, average. And I gonna do is wait, I just remove two marks, easy, right? And I gonna do like this and divide by 2, so we can do calculation inside the variables. So that's handy, right? So mark 1 is calculated, mark 2 is like both to add it to 1 and divide by 2. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to echo the average. So if I echo the average, and I just hide this one for now, and if I run it back, it prints the average 85. So if you want to, with the message, you want to like to what is that, empty, so you can say average, and like this and print. Okay, forget to add dot, like otherwise it won't work. Average, no. So calculation, that's fine. So that's how you're going to print with a message. And now I'm going to do a if statement. So first thing is if statement. So I'm going to say if thing, and in here what you're going to do is if the average is above 50, you're going to say fail. If it's above 50, then you're going to say pass. If it's not, you're going to say fail. So this is the basic if statement. If you are familiar with it, you're going to see, say I'm going to use the br here, echo br. So br is used to break a line, so it's come to new line, so it's kind of beneficial. So that's how you're going to break a line. So next, if it's 50, pass, but I need to have like I'm going to say 90, and I'm going to say a, I'm going to give a grades now. So for this one I'm going to say else if. Now it's when you above 70 it's going to be, and another else if. So these are else ifs are used to, like, if you want to have multiple conditions inside the condition, so that's kind of handy when it's using. So see, so else fail is a bad word, so I'm going to say try again. So for these marks he has have B. So it checks the average, and now it checks the whether the condition is true or not. Is false, so it doesn't execute this line. It's going to next one and checks whether the condition is true, or then it is true, right? So it runs it. Look, if it's like this, like if the condition is false, 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 and then it checks the else, and when it comes to else, it is doesn't go to next one. There's no next thing. It prints this one. Default thing is gonna default, like if you something didn't happen above, it's defaultly come to this point. So I don't think gonna explain very well, but I just go 30. See, try again. Anyways, like that will be the condition. You want check, you check everything and come to this point and do this. So you might think why you're explaining this much. These are basic for us, because I'm thinking everyone has the worst knowledge in PHP. So I am thinking like I want to like everyone to understand this video. If you don't know anything about programming, I just like giving the full information about PHP and like how to program. So this is familiar with everyone. Like if you have like used any similar language, you know, like these are easy stuff, right? But I just thinking someone's watching this one first time, like people who have never programmed. So that's all. So next thing is I'm gonna do is switch. Switch is similar to a if condition, but it has a different thing. You can see it's similar, right? You can use condition inside the switch, and or else you can use defaultly 90, or you can use conditions as I mentioned before. And see, same thing. If I run it, try again, because that average is not about, save CC, and Y is here. Okay, so now the how much the average is 65, right? So the 65 means the inside the brackets here is also 65. So it checks each one by one and doesn't match with anything, and it defaultly, as in else if and else, it's gonna print the try again. So that's how the switch case is working. So I'm gonna say that. Now I'm going to go for loops is easier. So if you are familiar with other programming language, in for loop you would just make a bracket. Inside that thing you're gonna say define a variable, and you're gonna give a condition and gonna give the iterator, and after that inside the brackets you're gonna do the printing. So I'm not gonna give us this full thing for that thing, because anyways if you see the answers 0 1 2 3, and if I change the value to 5, you can test it out. Programming is nothing like by hearting it. You need to program and like testing by yourself. So that's how you become a good programmer. So in while loop, it's similar. So you're gonna use while, and inside the while what it's doing is checking the condition. So in checking the condition means first it checks the condition. So I is 5 is true, so it checks the condition and let's inside the loop. So it's now it brings the I value and the br and the iterator. So next time it will be 6. So like it's similar, like this is the what happened, like this I plus plus means, so I plus plus means I equals I plus 1. So then it means 1 comma 2 comma 3, like that it goes on. So that's how it works in while loop. And this the thing what is happening when say I plus plus. So if I do the same thing here, so it's going to print the same thing. and I'm gonna do something else here. So if I say I plus, it's gonna change one by one, right? If I say plus 2, it's gonna change by 2 by 2. So 5 plus 2 is 7, and plus 2 is 9. So that's how the iterator works, and I'm not going to give a big explanation for that one. And for each do while is also similar, so it's also, yeah. So do while, same thing, the condition is coming to below. So for each used to when it comes to arrays, so you need to use a array first, and I haven't came to that point yet because I haven't defined the array before. So I just explain it because I am going with the conditions, right? So for this is array, so I explain it later. And this is how to use the for each. For each, you just say for each, and names is the way the array name, and you say as name means like it's take one by one value and put inside the bracket. So first round it takes the John, and next round it takes the Joe, and next round it takes the Jane. So if I run this, because we have multiple stuff here, I hope you guys understand this stuff. So I said before, for each also doing the same stuff. So, and next I just come to the arrays now. I think that's the next slide. Okay, what's the next slide? So our next slide is functions. So in functions, if you most people are struggle at this point because functions are they not get what is functions. So functions basically it's like this is an example function. So for now I just remove this, and I'm gonna make a new function. First you need to if you're familiar with functions, like in Java is method, in Python is also functions, but you might know if you have family with other language. So functions, and say dog, okay, and I'm going to make a bracket, and I'm say echo dog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the method name, so dog, and I'm going to say dog. So if I run this, it prints dog. So every time I'm going to call it, it's going to work, dog, and like if I run it again, see, dog. So what is this thing is like in a practically example for these things are like if you have repeating stuff, you can put inside a function, and you can like call it when you want. For example, in real life scenario, you working, right, you working and brushing your teeth. So in that scenario, like you, every day you wake and you need to like hold your brush and like pull it up and down and go up and blah blah blah, like you know, like doing that thing, right? So what the function does is like it make basically making your life easier, so it automatically works. So if you're using a function your brush, basically it's making an electronic brush. So what it does is like when you call the brush, it's automatically brush your teeth. So no need to like do it like every time pull it up and down, and like no need to do that, like it's electric brush, now it's automatically like brush for you. So that's what make your life easier. So when you need something you can do that. So as example, it gave a function called add a dot a comma b, right? So what you can do is you can call a method call x equals 10 and equal to. So this is used for people who lazy to add some stuff. What you can do is you can call add method name, and you need to send some parameter values. So first I'm going to give the x value x10 comma and 20. So dollar okay, you can send the direct values directly, or you can send the variable values, so it doesn't matter. So in this thing you see 10, it come to here, like because the way you send, the way you get, okay. So if you send xy and no disorder, it sends like this. So in that how you see it sends there and returns the a plus b. So if I run this, you see it doesn't show anything. So what you need to do is you need to store this value in somewhere else. So I'm going to store this in z, and what I'm going to do is going to echo it and echo z. See, voila, it's showing up. So that's how you're gonna store something what you want. And if you want to like do something else later, like if you're storing a variable, you can easily like do something to that, like add 10 later. Or if you do that, you see 40. So if you store in a variable, or you can just automatically, let's say, echo and call the method in that point. Add I'm going to do something 30 comma 40 this time. So see 70, right? So you can directly give the values, or you can just take to put in some variables, put in some variables, and like pass it as a variables. And you can store it inside a variable and like print it later, or you can like directly print it. Okay, echo. So for now I just gonna use a multiple line comment. So yeah, I'm gonna use that here, multiple line comment. So that's how it's gonna be handy, because I need to comment line by line if you are using that single line comment. So multi-line comment is useful in that point. So next, what do you have next? Yeah, arrays. As I mentioned before arrays. So when you define a value variable, you no need to like mention it's an array or what. You can give any name. And in when you creating array, you need to mention array in start and the array values. It can be array of numbers and array. See, so you can send values, numbers or decimals, it doesn't matter. Like you need to mention array and the array name. So when you want to print something of that array, you can say array 0 or number 0. So if I run that thing, I think I have some other programs around, or this one. So I'm using some shortcuts. So John 10. So in this thing also, like it's used the same format, like in if you have family with other program language, in array it works as 0 index. So this is 0 1 and 2. So array 0 means John, number 0 means 10. So I used to type 0 index. So if I put something 3 is 40. So 40 means 0 1 2 3, right? So 40. So that's how it prints the John 40. Nice name for a game tag. Okay, that's how the functions array works. I'm not going to go deep in arrays, because it's not that much hard. You can just familiar. And you can see associate arrays. You can have key value and the value. And multi-dimensional arrays is like 2D array, 3D array. You might familiar with that. So it's that. And that's there. And what's next? We have form handling. For form handling, I'm gonna show, this is a different topic. Now it's come to a we are getting to real action now. So form handling, we have can create forms. So forms are when it come to like you want to get users input, you use forms, right? So there's a two method to send the values. Like when you're getting a form data from one point, you need to send it to somewhere else, right? You can't keep it there. You can, but you want to send it to somewhere else, you can use these two methods, like get method and post method. So when you say post method, you can understand like a cover, right? When you send in data, you just wrap it with some cover, so the third person can't see it. But in get method, it's like a something like when you want to send something to a person next to you, you just write it down and send it, right? But in that scenario, if you are the guy is like far away, like the middleman can read it, like when there are letters passing out. So that's like a little bit security vulnerability, because the middleman can read the values. But in post it doesn't matter, like it's sending like little bit securely. So For example, if you see this one, check, you can, like when you're creating a form, you just like use some validation and those stuff. So I'm gonna make a something called form form.html. In here I'm gonna make a basic HTML code and use form, and in action I'm not going to give anything for now, and method. So this is the literary way you can open a form. So for now I just make a input like this, and this is the normal way you can make inputs. So form, action, method. So in action, this is the way you, when you click the submit button, you get the, it's redirect to the that file location. So if I have another file location called result.php, if I just go to the web browser again, not here, and if I want to access that, this is a different file, right? So to access that I need to say form.html, because if you go to your file explorer and the file you created, you see this is a different file. To access that you need to make call that, go to that file. So you didn't mention that, so because we don't have any navbars. And in action thing, what you can do is you can pass the well file location. For now if I just click submit, it doesn't do anything, like it just do this stuff but it doesn't do anything. So if I say passing file location result.php, if I reload this and submit again, it's going to result.php. So if you can see it, it's changing the file location, like basically sending the value to that location. So that's how the action works. And get method and post method. For now I'm going to use get, and this is the unsecure way to send the values, but it's, if you are not using like sending password and those stuff, it's totally fine to use get. So if I just zoom out for now, and just zooming out. So if I zooming out and if you check the code now, I made a basic input one. So if you want to make a basic input and a type, and you're gonna say what's the type of the the input box name. So in this one will be the handy when you're creating something. So I'm gonna say input, and I'm gonna give you, no need to give a ID for now. It's useful when you're using something else. And placeholder input, and that's all. Yeah. So I'm gonna remove this unwanted stuff. So I'm gonna say name here, and I'm gonna give here number, or just remove this. Okay, so enter your number, enter your name. So that's how you just make an input. So, and after that you make an input another type as submit. The submit will be, and I need to reload it. So this will be the submit button. So that automatically converts into a button. So when you say submit, and I have created these two input box. Now if I send something 1 2 3 1 2 3, the values will pass to the parameters. I don't know if you can see it, but you see name is now equal to some values, and the not some values, that like rewind and check it, like the value I send it now here is automatically sending to that result.php and the values I entered. So what I can do is inside the result.php, make sure that it should be a PHP file, and you need to open the PHP tag. Okay, PHP, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to use get. It should underscore capital get. The gets are not working. So get, and open to box bracket I don't know what this is called, and inside that you need to mention the name of the that input box. So first input box is name, so I'm gonna give inside this name, if it's capital make sure to use those capital, and I there's another get, right? So values should passing, so this number, it's within the brackets, I'm gonna give number and pass it. So if I just pass it and submit, it doesn't do anything. So what I need to do is I need to save it inside a value, like a variable. So I'm gonna say name, and for this one it's a number, so I'm saving inside the variables, and I'm gonna print this one, echo name, echo br and number. So if I say reload this, see, it's now showing and name is like number is like this, and you see, you can, the values are passed to an that result.php through the URL, and now you can print the value from this. So this is how you can get an value from that and do the stuff here. So what you can do is you can do more calculation stuff. So you can like pass your result here. So example, if I go here and echo b, and I just close here and else and try again. Yeah, the AI is kind of good. So I'm gonna change this to mark, and change this to mark as well, and go to result, and I'm gonna say number as mark, because the name you change here is gonna be coming here, so make sure they change that, and mark. So what I'm going to do is I change this one as a mark as well, mark, and I'm going to put inside here mark. So what it's going to do is it gets the value mark, the I sent from the form, and comes to here, it stores in the mark, and it okay, I need to change this one as well. And mark is print the mark, and it checks the if condition. So it checks the if condition, and if it's above something, then based on the input it's showed the result. So if I demonstrate that, I should do something 80 or 70 mark. Why it's false? Because it's not above anything. Mark. Let's see if mark, send mark, get mark, let me check mark, because I didn't send any, something reload, yeah, Farhad 90 submit. Okay, now it works, because something wrong in that side. So based on the mark I just entered the value, so it should be a, but it should be equal sign. It's equal sign, now it's a, yeah. So you can do calculation stuff in here, or do if condition and check those condition. There can do multiple stuff, and that's the stuff you can do in here. So now what I can do is I can get the forum here as well. So if I want the forum here, I can use include. You can use include and call the form dot html. So in form dot html, if you call that, it's come to this point, right? If you send the value and here and submit, it's come to this point, and like basically this is useful when you using headers and footers. So when you using headers and footers, it's come handy, because like those are not going to be changed, right? So in that case, like in that scenario, like come to one file and just do the change. If you have like hard coded every page, you need to go to every page and need to edit the code. But if you like use include here, see this is a form, I just include here, right? If I just input another input my bad, input and text. See, it added a new one. So I'm in the result.php, but if I do small changes in one file, it affects everyone. So it's like useful like when you go to website like footer, header, and like some stuff you don't need to like change every time. Like it just changes one point. Okay, that's why I use include. And let's see what we have next. And required here as well. And if I reload the page, and yeah, so if I say submit, it's asked to input the values. You can't say empty values. So that's a cool forum shortcut. So if you say submit, see now it's works without empty file. So that's one thing. And let's see what we have next. Oh, database connectivity. So database connectivity, what we can do is you need to make a database now. So what you can go to, localhost php myadmin, and literally doesn't work because they haven't started yet. So what you need to do is go to MySQL database, like go to XAMPP and start the MySQL database. So after it started, you just refresh it. Now it works because when you need to run a MySQL, you need to have both of these, right? Otherwise, it won't work. So I just zoom it out for now. And for this video, I'm going to make a new database by clicking new and give a database name. So you can use MySQL to create database, but I'm gonna go with the simple way. So I'm gonna give for this video I'm gonna give video as a database name, and lang as the database table, and I'm gonna give two rows, columns actually. So in first column will be id, second one will be lang. So this lang means the programming languages. So it's gonna be a varchar 50, and I'm gonna go primary key for this one, and no need to like go hard on this because I'm gonna give a demonstration video. So what is this AI means? It's a iteration string, auto increment. So no need to add IDs every time, it just automatically increment. So I'm gonna save it. So if I save it, database is now created, table also is created. So I'm gonna send insert values. So if you have multiple tables, you need to select the table, I guess. But in this scenario, I'm not gonna do that. So now I'm gonna pass the values. I'm not going to pass a value to the ID because the ID is automatically incrementing. So no need to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the first language Python, and press go. So the value is added to the table. Now if I run it, you see id is automatically added and the value I added. So I'm gonna do this for several times. Java, insert again, JS, insert C++. If I go do that, and if I go to this thing, you see yeah, I'm in wrong one. In the browser, see you can like see the values here. So that's how the thing is happening. So if I go back to the yeah, see now what I'm going to do is I need to connect my PHP with the database. So I'm going to do is I'm going to create database, that you can name anything, database.php. So in here what you can do is you need to make a PHP tag, and inside here you need to make some variables. So server name, and localhost username root, password empty, and root. So in server name, if you are bought a web server, you can put your IP address like this. The IP address you got, it can be a URL, or it can be like www.google.com or something, or you can put that inside this thing. If you are using the exam, you can use the localhost. And the same thing, the password, like it's root, but you can have your admin or something, blah blah stuff. And the same as the password, if you are using the localhost, no need to worry, because localhost, if you haven't set any password, you can use that, or you can use your that online password, that user account password. And database name. So for this video, I have multiple database, so I need to say which database I'm going to use. So I'm going to use the video database, so I'm going to say video, and that. So create a connection. So to create a connection, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable called connection, and inside that I'm going to make a new MySQLi, and inside that I'm going to send the value name. So first localhost, username, password, and database that I'm going to connect. So after that, I'm going to check the connection. To check the connection, I'm going to use if condition. So if connection is true, so if its connection is like good, if it's good, it says true. If it's bad, it says false. So in this scenario, then it echo good, yeah, else bad, and connection went bad and die. This is the thing, like when it's connection is went down, or in error or something. So that's how you do like this. And my SQLi connection error, and inside that you can pass the variable name, that connection, yeah. So it's basically, I think, connection comma database name as well, I think, yeah. Just do that. So that's how you break a connection, but I'm not sure what is dieting doing. So you have chat gpt, you can ask him and resolve your confusions and blah blah stuff. So now I made a connection with the database. To check whether it's working or not, I'm gonna make a new, no, I'm not gonna make a new one. I'm going to then index one. Oh, not go to yeah, go to index one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check whether it's working or not. So I'm going to do I'm going to include this. So what I'm doing is I'm going to get the same thing, but in here go database.php. So I'm just linking the php database php and the index thing, so I can directly access the stuff that both thing has. So not both thing, like I should add the including that one as well, but in here I can access the database.php stuff. So check whether it's working or not. I'm gonna say SQL. So this is the query I'm gonna send. If you are familiar with SQL, you know, like this stuff, select all from the video, and I'm gonna make a variable called dollar result and equals my SQLi. It should be simple, like my SQLi, that thing and query, and I'm gonna give the that variable name in database thing here. The variable name, I have made a connection. So this variable name I'm gonna put it inside the index php, this bracket. So connection, a comma, because I have connected with the include, I can access directly. So inside that I'm gonna say the SQL. So I'm gonna check that connection and pass in this query. So after doing this, make sure to use this colon, and otherwise it gives errors. So I should mention it before we start in video, but forgot to mention. So make sure to put semicolon every end of the line. So I made the result. Now I need to get the values. So the result value will be sent to this result thing. So for to get those values, I can use while, right? Yeah, I can use while row and this thing. So I can use id. Okay, name. So okay, now when you get fetching these values, it's going to the database and collecting the values like this. So if you print a value, I don't know if it works or not. Print r, if I run this, for this I need to run the slash index.php. Okay, so I think doesn't work. For now I just make a new file and run it for this thing. So database, no, it's better one is video.php. Okay, I run it here and I need to rename the files here as well. Video.php. Okay, say inside the php, otherwise it doesn't work, you know. Okay, now I'm getting error. Why? I don't know. So that's where the issue caused. I forgot to add a bracket here to the MySQL and getting the data, but it's getting as a array. Okay, it's getting as an array. So what you can do is like to fetch those, you need to like to get those values, you need to like identify it. So in my database, in this database, if you come here, if you check its id and lang, right? So it's sending like this. Okay, it's sending like this. So inside here the id comma the lang. Okay, lang like that. So it's coming comma and id comma lang like that. It's okay, okay, like that. It's have like 4 rows, like how many rows? 1 2 3 4 rows, right? For that everything is like that. So it's going to be 1, it's going to be 2, and this is going to be 3, and that lang. Okay, lang. So that's how the value is going to be passed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this column name. I use the echo, the row id. The id means the column name of the thing and lang. I can just literally can remove this and like that. And if you see, like still can get the values I wanted. So I just zoom it out. So if you see it, like the value, the good is actually from the database. So if I just comment it, see name, Python, Java, this is the value I sent in here in this table. Okay, it's yeah, see here. So in here also same thing. So if I just change the SQL here in video from lang where, can use capital where, right? Where id is 1. So if you do that, you see only Python coming. So if I use the id is 3 or 4 is right, equals 4. See C++. In my scenario 4 is that. This is handy when you want to fetch something that you want, like a product id, or you can send the product id here and fetch the relevant information and print it in here. So in this scenario while loop doesn't matter if you are only fetching one data, but if you want to fetch multiple ones, then you need to do that. So in row means it's saving the values in here and fetching the values that want to get from the result and put inside the while and fetching it. So after every fetch, it's put in here, and if it come to point that no values, it sets to false, and while loop will end. So that's how the fetching thing works, and I think I need to do more thinking. I haven't planned that much. So wait. Now I want to teach sessions.php. So session PHP is I recently learned about it. So it's literally what you call authentications. There's two things called authentication and authorization. So authorization is like logging one, and authentication means like what level of authentication you need. So for example, if you are a student, what level of permission should I give to you? So for example, if you are a student, I should give the student permissions, right? Like one, you want to view the subjects. If you are a teacher, I should give you the like attending, like adding subjects, adding like lessons, the Zoom meetings and those stuff, the teachers privileges. But if I give that to the students, then it's not correct, right? So that's why like those authentication authorization are coming. Authentication is in here it says giving permission to specific files, and like that I using the same example. Like authentication is like login stuff, and authorization is like accessing levels. So those are uh, different two eras. So in authentication and authorization, like those are different stuff. Even when you giving access to a website, and when you once you log into a website, the login website need to save your data, right? Or to access when it wants. And sometimes, like if you, for example, a website called YouTube, you want to log in, and after that, have you ever log in again? Like after maybe after years or months, you might log in again, because it won't ask your login details, because it stores your data. So it stores as a session or cookies in your browser or in their server, because those data will be used again and again when you log into that device. So like no need to enter your password or things again and again. So the cookies are saved inside your browser, and the sessions are saved inside your like inside the server. So which one is more secure? The session. So session is like holding your information inside the server. So when it's like you can have multiple sessions in the server, like multiple users can come and multiple sessions will be created. So multiple sessions can be done, and you can have multiple cookies in your browser, because multiple users can sign in your browser, and you can have multiple accounts, so doesn't matter. So this is the thing. You can have uh, like you can, when it comes to saving your data, so it's in the server. I don't know how about the clients that cookies thing. It's a session .php. So when you start a session in server, what is happening is start a session. Okay, start a session. We are usually using this keyword start a session, and after that it makes a variable called session name. Okay, session underscore, like underscore and session and the name. So John, no, the do. So this the session created and saving the data. So after creating it, what you can do is you can go to different site, for example index.php, and you can start there as well. So එතනට ඇවිල්ලා start කරලා, so I'm gonna say start, and you can now say echo session name. So if I do that, and if I go to localhost, and if I go to index run the this one, which one, video session, the session.php thing. So I just make a new tab, and I'm gonna go localhost slash video, my file thing, and I'm gonna open the session .php file. Okay, so this php file is opened, and I just gonna make it say echo session set, and this will be shown. And if I reload this page again, you see the name John Doe, because uh, like after like running this thing, after running this page, the index dot thing is working. So without starting the session start, this won't work. So you make sure you need to start the session, and you need to, you can call anything you want. So if we start it, and you can do more stuff in here as a hello space, yeah, so welcome need John Doe. So those stuff you can do when you like using a session. So session is using like you can use for like a time range or like a long term, and like when you want to sign out. So when you want to sign out, like I just make a new page saying sign out.php, and I'm gonna make a new same thing on is PHP this time as well, and question mark, and I'm gonna start the session. This part is little bit new to me, this to, yeah, just reload this, and if I go to here and run this, yeah, it's gone. So if I repeat myself, what is happening is I made a new PHP file. So if I remove this PHP file, so in here in the session ID, what is happening is I just create a session. I just started a session. I made a session. You need to make define like session, and need to send a value, and equals to name John Doe. So after creating a session, I just making a age 30, and I just saying set, like to figure out is working or not. I just set session is set. So without starting the session PHP, I am going to the index.php. If you see here, index.php is the open here. Okay, so I just reload this one. So it's only saying echo, but if I go to session PHP and reload this one, now it's created a new session that has these values. If you see the session PHP, and if I go to index.php and run this, it what it does is it's start the session and prints the session name. Okay, name is name. Okay, okay, if I go echo right, echo age and session age, if I reload it, see age is showing. And if I go to sign out, if I go to sign out, and if I reload this, like why is that thing not showing up? If I reload this, and if I go to index, if I reload, something went wrong. Sign out. Okay, in sign out, what is happening is I need to start the section again, brackets, and what you need to say after starting the session, you need to destroy the session, and you're gonna say echo, yeah, you are logged out. So this is to identify it's happened or not. So if I save it, and if I reload the session sign out, you logged out. If I go to index.php, the values are now destroyed. So there are a lot of stuff are there in session. Session about expire, limiter, commit, the point. And if you have like I think most of the video is like people who watching this video is like IITians, and if you have done the IIT those tutorials, I can't do it now here because it's plagiarism. So I don't own that thing, right? So literally I did was that stuff we did in these tutorials and in the lectures. So literally I just repeating myself and did some revision. So if you have any doubts, so I missed some part maybe, as I know, like in here I just taught everything I knew. So if I go to slide one, so So, and if you are rich enough, you can pay 2 million and go to like IIT or SLIT and learn from there. I don't know SLIT have PhD, but if you are poor as me, you can use these following like free websites like WT schools, and like websites are there like many more. So thanks for watching, and if you have any doubts, and if you're still watching this point, I'm going to give away I will test it. I'm going to give away 10 100 not 10 5 100 rupee reloads. So what you need to do is mention your like hello and your phone number. I'm going to delete it after that, but after seeing the message, first you need to say hello and your phone number, and I'm going to give reload to your number. So free reload, right? So that's all. Okay, thanks for watching this video, and hope you guys understood.